There's a story in the Gemara, it goes like this. There's a rabbi who has two pockets, and inside the two pockets he has two slips of paper. And he takes them out to look at them all the time. And in one slip of paper it says, "For me the world was created." And in the other slip of paper it says, "I am nothing but ashes and dust." And these two ideas he keeps constantly, daily in mind. And it's a paradox. So what are you? Created? Is the whole world created for you? Did God create you specifically in this world to give it life? Or are you nothing and insignificant? It's a paradox, and paradoxes are the friends of the Jewish thought. We have all kinds of paradoxes. We have paradox of free will versus predetermination. We have paradoxes trying to conceive of a transcendent God versus an intimate God that we could have a close conversation with. But out of these paradoxes, out of this dialectic approach where we take two seemingly incompatible ideas and we smash them together like some kind of atoms in Geneva, what comes out is brilliance. You are all trained for dialectic thought. You're all trained as thinkers. You are trained for brilliance. And I have to tell you, as I look through this room, as I look through the students, there's unbelievable talent here. There's unbelievable brilliance. There's unbelievable genius. You know it of yourselves. And please don't misunderstand me using the word brilliance and genius. I'm not limiting it to simplistic terms. I'm not just talking about the genius of a math genius or a science genius. All of those things are valuable and easy quantifiable. But there are things which are not so quantifiable, which are also genius. There are geniuses among you that can write a poem, and not just one, that bring tears to the eyes. There are geniuses that can paint a picture of an Israeli soldier held in the arms, which fully encapsulate the emotion of what it is. There are geniuses among you who may not be so great at doing a differential equation, but you know how to do a buy and a put, and you can tell the spot price of a stock or a foreign currency, and you could run a business and will run a business to genius success. There are geniuses that I've seen that have held cancer patient hands. There are geniuses who hold the hands of children, and geniuses that can reach out and touch people that nobody else can touch. There are geniuses and brilliance among you, there's no question about it. But then we have the ultimate problem, the ultimate paradox. And to really focus on the paradox, I'll quote Nelson Mandela. And anybody who's seen Aquila and the Bee, I don't know if you've seen Aquila and the Bee, knows this quote. In fact, somebody from the yearbook actually quoted it. It says, "We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?" And if you read the quote, Nelson Mandela is thinking about God. It is a very spiritual quote. But on the other hand, for every Nelson Mandela quoting about how you are marvelous and fabulous and beautiful, there's a quote from Stephen Hawking or a number of other mathematicians, scientists, philosophers who tell you that you are insignificant. Not you, all of us. As a little science project, if you take a picture of the sun and you want to understand what it means to be distant from the earth, the sun, if you make it an orange and you put it at one goalpost, the earth is a grain of sand at the other goalpost. That's how small we are. And we're just little grains of sand on that grain of sand. So I ask you, is the world created for you and for you, each one individuals? Or are we just afar ve'efer, are we just sands? So I have an answer, I have a possible answer, and it's a suggestion for all of you. That Nelson Mandela is not exactly right in his question. It's not about who you are. It's not about whether you are beautiful, about whether you are fabulous, about whether you're a genius, whether you are talented, whether you're wonderful. It's about what you do with those talents. I'll take it a step farther. God put every single one of you on this earth for a reason. Not to be something, but to do something. And maybe not just one thing, but many things. One of you may cure cancer, and one of you may be a kindergarten teacher of a child who will one day cure cancer, who will love to learn because of what you taught them in kindergarten. One of you may create a poem that inspires a world. One of you may be a Mashiach that brings world peace. The question is, what is it that you're supposed to do? That's the challenge. So, you're all brilliant. And God has put you here to use your brilliance to accomplish something. But the question is, how do you know? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be a doctor? Am I supposed to be a lawyer? Am I supposed to have a business? What is it I'm supposed to accomplish? How do I know that I'm living up to what God asked me to do? Because if you don't live up to what God is asking you to do, then have you lost? If you don't live up to your raison d'etre, have you lost something in the beautiful life which is ahead of you? How are you supposed to do what you're supposed to accomplish? Some of you probably know what you want to be. Some of you already know that you want to be doctors, and Lord knows you will be in the best of them. Some lawyers, some businessmen, some of you, maybe most of you, will change your mind probably 100 times during college. But the question is, how do you know? There's a character named Elihu in the book of Eov, who says that God gives us hints, little dreams. You might have a dream of what you're supposed to accomplish. You may see somebody doing something. You may say, I should be like that. Those little hints in life are what Elihu says that God sends us. They're nudges, they're intuition, there's inspiration. And all I can suggest is that you follow that inspiration. So once you followed your path, again, how do you know that you're doing what it is that you're supposed to do? And I have the following thing to say. I don't know. Because there are no easy answers. I don't know how to tell you that somewhere 5 years down the road, or 10 years down, or 20 years down the road, that you are doing what God put you on this earth to do, that you will do what will give you life's happiness and sustenance. But I have a few ideas. So I'll suggest things to you, and hopefully you'll think of things that are even better. The first one I heard today, actually, from Rabbi Layosh, who taught me something about Korach. Korach, according to one Medrash, had a vision that his great-great-great-great-grandson would be a great leader for Israel. So Korach said, if I'm supposed to be so great, if he's supposed to be great, I'm supposed to be great. So his ego, and it's not like Korach wanted to hang out and cause trouble. It wasn't like he was leading people astray. He wanted to serve in the Beit HaMikdash. So why, what he wanted to do, why was his desire to serve God not right? Because ego blinded the way. Because he didn't do what's so important for the genius, for the brilliant, for the talented, for the special. He thought only of himself. He thought it's a zero-sum game. If somebody else is great, I can't be so great because it takes away. If I want to write this paper, I'll have to suppress other people's information to show that I'm great. What Korach did not understand is that brilliance and wonderful and serving God is not a zero-sum game. We're all in it together. And if you keep humble, it balances your brilliance, and I think makes you something special. And I'll end with one more idea. I call it the 80% 20% rule. It says in Kohelet, Ten chelik l'shiva v'gam l'shmona, ki lo teda ma yeh ra'a ba'aretz. It's a very difficult pasuk, but a very easy pasuk. Break things up in 7 and break things up in 8, because you don't know what kind of bad things might happen. In one word, what Kohelet is saying is diversify. Diversify. Try this, try that. Be flexible. Pay attention to the world around you. Try and touch and feel. And don't get stuck in some rut and say, oh, I've got to be this because this is what I have to be. Because if you don't do what you love, then I'm pretty sure you're not doing what it is you were put here on this earth to do. And I can only suggest one parameter. Again, I can't tell you that you're on the right path, or you will be on the right path, but I can give you one parameter. If you wake up every day, ladies and gentlemen, and you look at your partner, your husband and wife, and it makes you happy to see them, and if you look at your children, and it makes you happy to have a Shabbat meal with them, or to go to baseball with them, or to hold their hands when they first go to college or when they graduate school. If you wake up every day, you look forward to work saying, wow, challenges today, what could I accomplish? Whether you're working in the house raising kids, or writing books, or writing poetry, or saving lives, or being a fireman, or being a rabbi, or a teacher, if you could wake up in the morning and the first thing you think is, after you think about your family, man, this is going to be a good day at work. I am looking forward to it. If you love all of those things, I think you're on the right path. I bless all of you. I wish all of you to choose the right path. I wish you to know that you're doing what God put you on this earth to do, because I know you're supposed to do great things. Congratulations.